boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you're seeing...
For the face, don't break Gas's flag. And it's Floyd with a heavier punches so...
Muhammad Ali, known as the greatest fighter of all time, he had his hands down a lot of the time. So this must mean that this is the best boxing stance, right? Well, what about Mike Tyson? He used to knock out everyone. He had the peekaboo style with his hands up like this, coming forward and really getting the power in them punches. So that must be the best boxing stance for you, right? Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali both got beat in their careers, but Floyd Mayweather didn't. Floyd Mayweather used to love the Philly shell. He was here like this. And because Floyd Mayweather never got beat, he had the Philly shell like this. So obviously that is the best boxing stance for you, right? Well, no. None of them stances is the best boxing stance for you. Now, if there's a trainer that tells you that there's one perfect boxing stance for everyone, they're full of shit. Send them this video. And the reason why is because every boxer is unique and they have their own special boxing stance that works for them. So how do you figure out which is the perfect boxing stance for you? Well, I'm going to tell you the simplest way to figure that out so you feel very fluent in your boxing training. And when you figure this out, it can take you to a whole new level. But first, it's important for you to know the pros and cons of the other stances that is out there. So when I give you the simple method after, you can simply slide in to that boxing stance, which will be perfect for you. So the first one I want to go over is the hands down boxing stance. Now, if I'm here in front of him and with my hands down and he throws a jab, boom, I'm wide open for that. So I need to have very fast reactions to be able to defend that jab. And then come back with the punches of my own. Now, if you have got very fast reactions, this possibly could work for you, but there's very few fighters that this hands-down boxing style works for. Now, one good thing about this style is if I'm in front of my guy here with my hands down and he throws a jab, my punches are coming from different angles that he's not expecting because he's not used to fighting someone with the hands down. Now, the next style is Mike Tyson's peekaboo style. So what Mike Tyson would do in his peekaboo style, he's got his hands up high here. He's kind of square on, and he would be like stepping, moving forward like this, bringing up the power punches. But the problem with this style is you can't move back. So if I'm in with a strong guy like this guy right here, and he comes forward throwing the punches, and I'm in my peekaboo style, like I struggle to defend. So unless you are really strong, like Mike Tyson, moving forward and throwing some big bombs.
He should be hanging on. Now with the right hand, the left hand. He's going to hang on, or he'll stop the fight.
I wouldn't really recommend the peekaboo style. Now, everyone is different. You might be able to mix the peekaboo style in with your traditional style or with the hands down style, and it could work for you. So I'm not saying definitely rule that out, but for me, I'm not a huge fan of this one. But moving on to the next one, the Philly shell. This is more like a Floyd Mayweather style here. And how this works is if my opponent throws a jab, I use my lead hand to parry that jab, like this jab, like this. But now you notice this arm is down, which leaves me wide open for that right hand. But when he throws the cross, what I've got to do with the Philly shell is throw that cross. I use my shoulder to kind of defend my chin. If he throws a hook with his lead hand, I can use this to defend here. If he throws a cross to the body, I'm defending here. So them are your defenses. You'll defend a jab with a parry, you'll defend a cross with the shoulder, you'll defend a hook with the block there, and you defend your body with your arm across your body here like this. Obviously, it worked for Floyd Mayweather, but I'm not a fan of this. I remember the first time I seen this style. I sparred with the number 2 on the Great Britain boxing team, who was coming for my Olympic place, and he came out with this Philly shell style like this, with his hand down. And I'd never seen it before. And I was in there with him like this, and I didn't understand it. So I threw a jab, he parried it. I threw a jab, he parried it. Now I'm thinking, why has he got his left hand down here? This means he's wide open for my overhand right. So I threw an overhand right, and it hit his shoulder. So then I thought, well, the top of his head's uncovered. So I thought, well, I'm going to throw a few of these. So we were here, and I went, boom, missed that one, boom, over. And I punched his head in with the overhand right, because this shoulder, when you're up against the ropes, you can't get out of the way of an overhand right, especially if you're in there with someone faster than you. Floyd Mayweather managed to do this, but my guess is you're not Floyd Mayweather. I'm not Floyd Mayweather. The guy who I was sparring against wasn't Floyd Mayweather, and he couldn't get out the way of it. But I guess it worked for him until he came up against someone as a higher level like me, and then, yeah, I punched his head in. Obviously, he didn't get my Olympic place because that's when I went to the Olympics and had my success there. And now the final style, which I highly recommend you try and you work on before you work on anything else. There's a couple more stances that I'm not going to go over now, which I definitely don't recommend right now. You've got the cross guard, you've got the switching stance, the like really awkward style. It might work for you, but I wouldn't recommend you do that. But the one stance that I highly recommend you do, and there's so many fighters that are having success with it, and it's the stance that I had, and it's something that you should definitely work on first. Okay, so the boxing stance that you should work on, like I said, Triple G has got it, Amir Khan has got it, Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez, and many, many more boxers. And this is what I had. Here it is right here. Can you see what I'm doing? This is the traditional boxing stance. With your hands up, elbows in, that line in between your feet. You've got that solid base. You're moving in and out with your feet. Your chin is down like this. You're throwing the traditional straight punches and the hooks, transferring your weight with each and every punch. Now, the reason why this is the best for you to start with, because when you develop this traditional boxing stance, if you do feel like, well, now, you know, I've got good reactions, I can drop my hands a little bit, then you can do it. If you do feel like having your hands up high and having that Philly shell, you can transfer it from the traditional stance. Now, if you start off with your hands down like this and you realize my reactions is not fast, I keep getting caught, you've already developed bad habits of throwing punches and bringing your hands down. And it's going to take a long time for you to get out of them bad habits. And that's why you need to start with the traditional, then move into whatever feels comfortable for you. But no matter what boxing stance you choose, one thing you should always work on is your footwork. And I've got a great video right here giving you footwork drills that you don't need any equipment for. So click here and watch this video next and improve your footwork.